Hi, I'm entitling this video, What is God's Opinion? I actually did speak with God. This is a long time ago. This is not recent. It was in 2005, and it was not about Palestinians and Israeli people. It was other subject. The reason or how did I got there? The content of the conversation, it was like I just came to the conclusion, not the conclusion, but I just kind of a light bulb went to my head. Finally, I got it. I got what was the secret. What's the secret? The secret is everything. It's a parable. Everything is written in parable. And if you remember Jesus' teaching, Jesus always talked about with parable. He never spoke directly. That's what the Bible says. That's what the Christian side says. So before I get there, when I was we're gonna back in the story. When I was a kid, when I was 10 years old, I saw Jesus, just like you guys are seeing me. So the way it happened, there was this neighbor who came to our house talking with my mom. And she said that she prayed and she asked God that she wants to see somebody, her dad, I think, or something. And at night, she saw Virgin Mary. At least that's what I understood. She saw Virgin Mary on the wall, something like that. I did not understood the details. All I know is that gave me an idea, and I said to myself, I know what I'm going to ask God. I'm going to ask God that I want to see Jesus. So at night, that was the habit in our house, that we used to say the prayer, our Lord's prayer. Then we used to go to bed. So my mom used to make sure that both of us we pray, me and my brother. So we, as usual, we got on our knees, we prayed, Our Father who art in heaven. And at the end of the prayer, in my mind, I said to God, I want to see Jesus. So we lay down, we were on our knees. We lay down, I turned my mom's side, and I turned to my brother's side, and Jesus was in front of me, sleeping on his side, sleeping diagonally. So I saw Jesus from the back. I looked at him. I just looked at it one time from the head all the way to the feet, and I was panicking. I was completely panicking. Like, I was panicking so much, like, what am I gonna do? So I flipped the other side so I don't see him. So I flipped to my mom's side, and I'm panicking. My heartbeat start to beat so fast that my heart was going to come out of my chest. It was that much. And I was panicking, completely panicking. I'm like, what am I going to do? So all of a sudden, I had the idea to turn and to look at him again. So when I turned one more time, Jesus was gone. And then that's when I start to calm down. I start to calm down, and all of a sudden I'm hearing my mom saying, calm down, there's nothing, like, you don't need to panic, calm down. My mom's head, it's over me. He's tapping my brother, calm down. So about 5 minutes later, this commotion finished, and my mom took both of us to my dad. My dad was in another room. So my mom took both of us to the other room and told the story to my dad that the kids saw Jesus. Either there or either the next few days, my mom was telling the story to the neighbors. And either there that night or the following days, I heard that the reason that why my brother was panicking, that's because he saw angels. He saw two angels. I didn't see any angel. And following this, my mom was saying that he was hearing a group of people singing. So she got up from the bed, like before this event happens. She got out of bed. She went and checked if the radio is on. She came back, and I guess that was the night. It was a sleeping time. My mom put us in. Well, we used to sleep on the floor because it was. It was civil war in Lebanon. In Lebanon, there was a civil war, and my parents thought sleeping in the living room on the floor it's safer. So that's the reason why we were sleeping in the living room. So I'm gonna come to 2005. 2005, I cannot go all the details. One thing I will mention, I don't think I knew about resurrection. I don't think I understood. I don't think that I had understood. I had no idea. All I know is there was this Jesus who loved us all with all his heart. That was my understanding. Now, becoming an adult, much later, like I'm putting two and two together. Obviously, I'm hearing about resurrection. So one day I'm saying that, oh, this is what it is. This is like, because it's a silent language at the same time. You have to try to put the things together. This resurrection that they are talking about, it's real. I mean, Jesus is real, but beside Jesus, this resurrection that they talked about, it's real. It's a real thing. I saw him. I saw him, and I am a witness. I saw him just like me, a person, a human being, just like this, identical. Now coming to 2005. 2005, that week, finally, I went like one day, like, boom, I got it. It's like, bulb goes off in your head, I got it. I got this whole thing. Everything is a parable. Everything is in a double sense. So can't go too much in details. So the same week I was praying. I had my eyes closed. I'm praying. I'm in my car. I'm praying. I had my eyes closed. I start to see God, and complete God, entire God. So when I saw God, I didn't want to open my eyes because I didn't want to lose it. I saw God. I started to tell him a lot of things because I was understanding. At that time, I start to understand a lot of things. That it's in double sense, that everything is about good and evil. So I start to tell God everything that I had in mind, everything that I used to think, whatever was in my mind, I was telling to God. And God was listening attentively. Everything that I was saying, God was listening attentively. And I cannot make public certain things right now. And at the end, oh, this is good. This is not this way. You talking this way, it's the other way. Flip the other side towards the public. I was a little bit panicking, but anyway. So that understanding was a lot. So whatever I'm going to say, yes, it's based on understanding. And the same evening, it was Friday, the same evening I met somebody, a complete stranger. And he wanted to talk to me. We talked. And later, a few days later, heaven affirmed that was actually Jesus. So that the person that I was talking to, it was Jesus Christ himself. So it's the understanding, and it goes to double sense. Everything is about good and evil. The rest of the testimony, I'm not going to do it. I cannot give it. I don't want to give it right now. The reason that I mention all these things is, if I grab all of the Palestinian people, that huge crowd, humongous crowd, you put them one side, and you put the entire Jewish people as a huge crowd the other side, and God will be right in front of you, and both of you groups are there, and you're shouting, throwing things at each other, you will be right in front of God, and you're going to do exactly the same thing. You're going to yell at each other, you're going to throw rocks. At one point, one fires a bullet, the other side follows a bullet. What do you think you're going to do? You're going to turn and you're going to say, God, on which side do you take? God is not going to take on nobody's side. They're not going to do that. You don't have an understanding. Some priests, some Christian priests, a lot of Christian priests, they say there's nothing impossible to God, and they are wrong. They are completely wrong. They are dead wrong. It is impossible for God to make some sort of a separation or agreement. If two people, they hate each other, it's a message. They are telling you to be good, to behave. It's possible to God to bring people alive and do miracles, turn something into gold. I mean, obviously for you has a value, so let's say they will turn into gold. Things like that is possible, but to make people come together, no, that's impossible. That's the reason, that's the whole message is to you, is so you change, you become good, you become a good person. If most likely, if all of you both of group are right in front of God, most likely God gonna commission that, the argument to, most likely I'm saying that, I don't know those things, but most likely they're gonna commission it to an angel, and you're gonna confuse the angel. Honestly, I'm telling you, you are going to confuse the angel. They have to take on this side, on that side, on Palestinian side. Okay, let's listen to the Palestinian side. Palestinians says the entire land belongs to Palestine. Okay, you go to the Jewish side. Jewish people, they say the entire land belongs to Jewish people. Nothing belongs to Palestinians. So you have two groups of people, they're fighting for the same land, and neither one is willing to give an inch. So, how are you going to solve this thing? If you look at the Bible says the reason that Jewish people they lost the land is because they were unfaithful to God. The reason that God chose Jewish people, it was so they become a priestly nation for all the other nations. The only reason that God chose worked with Jewish people, I mean, they are very strategic. They do a lot of strategic things. The reason that God decided to work with Jewish people, I mean, they could have picked up another nation. But the Bible says, it gives an explanation that God wanted Jewish people to be priests for the entire world. And they didn't. They were not obedient. They did not give importance to God. They were not following the rules. And that's the reason that they lost the land. So now, I don't know how many thousand years later, some Jewish people decided that they want to go back to Israel and claim the land back to as their property. So where does God falls in this? That's your decision. Instead of doing that, you should have sit down and pray. This is what we want, and wait until somebody like a holy person comes and gives you some answers, some direction from God. Is that possible? Can you do it? But usually, I tell you the stuff that some of the things that I know, they're kind of selfish. They're gonna do something that there's something in it for them. So the reason that they give that land to Jewish people is not that because Jewish people they don't have land, they are a slave in Egypt, things like that. Who cares? They're a slave. They're not slave. They're getting paid or working for free. They don't care about that. It's because they're gonna use Jewish people to introduce God for the whole world. That's the only reason. Now, if right now you have no land and you need the land, you want to go grab that land, that has nothing to do with them. They're not going to work with you. Can you persuade them to change their mind? I guess you can constantly pray and bother them and see if they will do it. But as far as I know, they don't. Now, would God takes Palestinian side? Well, Palestinian, just a second. If God will take on Palestinian side, is there anything religious in it? Are they going to build some sort of a country that recognize God? If they do it, maybe they will work with them. But their entire argument, they even bring God in it. They shout Allahu Akbar. Man, honest to God, that's an insult to God. I'm telling you, you are insulting God. When you say Allahu Akbar and you go and kill somebody, you are insulting God. For English-speaking people, that means God is the greatest. The greatest person among us is God. God is the greatest among us. So you're recognizing or you're claiming, you're declaring God as the greatest for your people, and you have a knife in your hand and you're going and stabbing somebody, cutting somebody's throat. I don't know from where you're getting those things. I read the Quran a little bit, not much because, I don't have the time. But I read just a small section, the English version, because I don't understand Arabic. But English version, here and there and here and there. and everything that I read is like it's right on it. Everything it fits like right in it. So from where they're getting all these things, I mean, I don't have one in front of me to read the English the translation, obviously. But everything they say is like it's right on it. It fits right on it. It's even better than the Bible. Uh, so I will say there is a lot of misinterpretation. People manipulate the words. Those things were not written by God, neither the Bible, neither the Quran. It was not written by God. It's written by humans, and it got translated. The words changed meaning, and people they put some things in it that should not be there. Anyway, I don't want to go in it right now at this point. But for all the Arabic people that they go and they slaughter people, they behead. I mean, I saw so many of it on the internet, beheading somebody. Man, it's like, are you an animal? I mean, you're on the same level of an animal, and you're going to get up in front of God and you're going to say whatever you have to say. I don't know what you're going to say, but whatever you have to say. You in your eye you are justifying yourself, but you think you think God gonna accept your behavior, and you're gonna go to heaven? They're gonna put the red carpet in and come inside? I mean, would you let somebody, if God put you in that door and puts you as a responsible, some sort of a manager, you let anybody you want in? I hate those mufflers. You let anybody God puts you on the door, and you can decide to let anybody you want in and throw anybody you don't like out. Would you let somebody like that in, that he's going out there and cutting people's throat? Next thing you know, you let him in, he's going to go do the same thing to other people. I mean, at every drop of a hat, that you lose your temper, and in your eye you are justified. You are justifying yourself. You are justified to cut somebody's throat. Where in that Quran teaches you to do that? There is a small section. I don't know how they did not give too much an explanation. They give a certain explanation is towards atheist people. It's not even atheist. People with 2,500 years ago, 2,000 years ago, most nations were, they used to worship idols. So for those people, they said that if they don't convert and they don't start to worship God, recognize God, those people, you're entitled to slaughter them. But it's like you need somebody holy that you can communicate. He can bring answers from God. You have to follow, like, it has to be live data. It has to be live on the spot. You cannot go out there and do the stuff that you are doing, because like you have a lot of Islamic people killing other Islamic people. Well, you're not allowed to do that. God does not give you the permission to do things like that. So I'm just going to go out of this. I'm going to leave this as is right now. I think this entire ordeal between these two groups of people, the biggest guilty party here is the UN. UN should have stepped in, separated those two groups of people. They're both on each other's throat. They're both trying to kill each other. They should have separated, like, you're not allowed to talk with this group, and the other group you cannot talk with the other one. They should have taken into a listen both sides, And obviously, I mean, Palestinians, for Palestinians, the entire land belongs to them. So somebody came and took the entire land, and now they're willing to give half of it back. Why they just gonna take half of it? The entire thing it belongs to them. So they're not accepting. Fine. For that, that's fine. And Jewish people, the biggest guilty party here is the UN and that United Nation and the other one. I forgot the name. Whenever they found those things, they called it something else. Either way, it's the United Nations' fault that they should have entered in. They should have not let Jewish people go there and start all this ordeal and creating all this nightmare. Me, the way I look at it, I have to stop it just a second. This is the map, and this is my opinion. You don't have this entire land of the Middle East. This entire land belongs to Arabs. This Morocco, it's Arab. So you have Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, Kuwait, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon. And the only thing left, this entire land, all this land, it's Arabic land. Only a small portion, very small, it's Israel. Well, according to Palestinians, it's Palestine. Okay, this entire land belongs to Arabic people. Jewish people, they have nothing. According to the Bible, according to the Bible, Abraham's son, they're both it's Abraham's kids. One is Isaac, the other is Ishmael, and they both, according to the Bible, they both became a nation and they grew up. So if you accept the Bible for Jewish people and Arabic people, Quran talks about Abraham, and they're very clear. I mean, I did not read the whole thing, but still, they're clearly saying it that Abraham is your great father. So it's like both of you are related, the blood related. It's one family. And you have two groups of people fighting with each other on each other's throat. There is many things that's kind of surprising, even though it's a Bible. It's kind of like odd. Not odd, but a lot of words in Arabic and in Jewish, it's the same. And Arabic and Jewish people, because we have some probably Americans watching, English people, they write from this side to this side. Arabic people, they write from this side to this side. And Jewish people, Hebrew people, they write from this side to this side. And they're alphabetic, I don't know the Jewish, I cannot pronounce it, but the Arabic and the Jewish, it's very similar. Aleph, Be, He, some things like that, and they pronounce it very similar. So it's like, you see they are like beside the Bible, like you see these are nations that pretty close each other. It's not like American and China. The letters are different, the pronunciation is completely different. So you have to accept for both sides, Arab and Jewish people, you have to accept that this is your brother. Do you see him as your brother? I mean, not even extended family. I mean, it's literally brother. Do you see him as your brother? Do you accept him as your brother? I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to go kill your brothers? I mean, how do you think Abraham will feel if you were Abraham? How would you feel like it? Your kids, they're fighting with each other, killing each other. How do you think the guy, the guy feels, or if they put him as a judge, how do you think he's going to judge? This is ridiculous. In my opinion, Arabic people, they have lots of land. I showed it here. Lots of land. Jewish people, they have nothing at all. At least be fair, give them a portion. I understand their argument, this and that. But beside their argument, just give them a small portion of land. And in exchange, every family, Palestinian families that they live there, you make a deal. We want $1 million for each family, Palestinian family that they live there. You take your $1 million, you give the land, you here, keep it to yourself, and you move to another country, because there is lots of land, lots of Arabic land. You just go another place. God bless you. Even though Jewish people, they're not following God, so that you're gonna basically forget about them. You're gonna go straight to God, and you're gonna say, I'm doing this for you. Not for them. This is to honor you. You take your money. If you think 1 million is not enough, you want more, there should be UN. You have to go and argue with these guys. That's why the biggest guilty party here is the UN. Look at it from the bright side. You know what? You take $1 million or something, you move to another country, you finish with all this argument. All of it will be over. You have a life, you build roads and hospitals and playgrounds, and you go and live your life, the rest of your life, and your kids will live their life. Because if you don't do a change, if you're not going to accept to do a change, you're going to keep doing things like this. You're going to pass this marathon when they run around the circle. One guy does one circle, then it pass the baton to the other one, and the other guy continue running. So you're going to pass the argument to your kids, and your kids going to pass the argument to their kids, and you're just going to keep fighting, and this thing is never going to end. It's ridiculous, and it's ridiculous for both sides. I think this is a wonderful idea. What's the other option? You're just going to keep fighting until one side decide maybe to throw a nuclear bomb? I don't know. Just look at it from the bright side. You will finish with all this argument completely. You live your life in another country, you buy a house, you send your kids to college, the whole thing will finish. Or else you just keep fighting. What's going to happen? 1,000 years ago, nobody remembers. Because nobody's going to remember you. You don't know who lived 1,000 years ago. The other things. Oh, the other thing. Okay, let's put it here. If I am interpreting, look, you cannot come and grab me and hold me responsible. If I am interpreting the signs properly, they are going to do these 10 plagues of Egypt, the 10 plagues that the God did, the 10 plagues to take the Jewish people out of Egypt. They're gonna do it again. If I'm interpreting correctly, I don't know. Hey, you said this, you said that. Look, I'm not God. I cannot do any miracles. I cannot do any signs. It seems to me, if I'm interpreting it correctly, it looks like that's what they're gonna do. I don't know. Okay, but besides that, even if there is a plague or even if there is a miracle, what are you gonna get? At the end, you have to be good. That's the entire teaching of Jesus. You have to be good because they're coming and they are asking you to change. You have to change yourself and to be good. Not to kill somebody, not to be violent, to be kind as much as you can. Don't to steal somebody's belonging. Something that, at least for me, it's important. I was talking with somebody. I said they came and they steal his I said laptop. So don't do a bad thing. You see somebody's laptop in the car, don't break the window and steal the laptop. And he said the reason they do that because they hate that person. And I'm thinking, it doesn't make any sense. What do you mean they hate the person? Then I'm thinking, like a day later, say, oh, what's the opposite of hate? It's love. That's because they don't have enough love for that person. The reason that you break somebody's car and you take his belonging, that's because you don't have that. You don't love that person. You don't have enough love for that person. Same goes for Israeli people. Israeli people is Israeli soldiers. You're going over there and dropping bomb because you have no love for those people. That numbnuts, whatever his name is, Anwar, he went out there and created all this chaos. He wants to be next Saddam Hussein or something. He wants his a statue to be built. The people worship him. Oh, you're the greatest hero. You gave freedom. All these people, Yasser Arafat could not succeed, and you're a genius. You're able to bring the land back. It became a free Palestine, and they're going to build his statue in the middle of the Times Square. The guy is a complete jerk, honest to God. All these people are suffering because of him. And what is it going to do? Apparently they killed some 1,000 something people. And what's that going to do? Is that going to bring the country back? No. All these people now, Palestinians, are suffering. He's not suffering. Palestinian, the average person is suffering because they're throwing the bomb on them. You come home and your house is gone. It's collapsed. There's no insurance. For people who don't know, if it's an act of war, insurance does not pay. You live in United States. Guess what? If there is an act of war, your insurance will not pay. Okay. Thank you, people.